In the next 10 seconds, I'm going to share a chilling statistic that might save your life, or the life of someone you love. This isn't just about cancer. It is about a silent predator that has become the leading cause of cancer death for people under 50. And the most terrifying part? By the time you notice something is wrong, it could already be too late. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn is absolutely critical. Before we dive in, if you find this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button. Your support is what allows me to create more content like this, to share knowledge that can genuinely make a difference. It helps the channel grow and ensures these life-saving messages reach more people. Thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about something that's often whispered about or ignored completely: colon cancer. We tend to think of it as an old person's disease, something to worry about later in life. But the reality has shifted dramatically. The National Cancer Institute has sounded the alarm. For adults between 20 and 49 years old, colorectal cancer is now the #1 cause of cancer-related death. Let that sink in. It's surpassing breast cancer, lung cancer, and others in this age group. This isn't to scare you, but to empower you. Knowledge is our greatest weapon against this disease. Because here's the silver lining, and it's a big one. Colon cancer is one of the most preventable and treatable cancers, if it's caught early. The numbers are stark. When detected at a localized stage, the 5-year survival rate is a hopeful 91%. But if that cancer is allowed to spread to distant parts of the body, the survival rate plummets to a devastating 13%. That massive gap between 91 and 13 is why we are having this conversation today. It's the difference between a treatable condition and a life-threatening battle. So, what are the subtle whispers from your body that you should never, ever ignore? Let's break down the early warning signs. First, persistent changes in your bowel habits. This is a big one. We all have an off day now and then, but we're talking about a consistent shift that lasts for several weeks. This could be new, persistent diarrhea, ongoing constipation, or even a strange pattern of alternating between the two. You might notice that the shape of your stool has changed, becoming much thinner, like a pencil. Why does this happen? A tumor growing in the colon can act like a roadblock, physically narrowing the passage and disrupting the normal, rhythmic function of your bowel. It's not just a random stomach bug, it's a persistent change that your body is signaling. Next, unexplained weight loss. If you're suddenly shedding pounds without changing your diet or exercise routine, it's a major red flag. This isn't about losing 5 pounds after a stressful week. We're talking about a significant, unintentional drop in weight. Cancer cells are incredibly greedy. They consume a huge amount of your body's energy to fuel their rapid growth. They can also interfere with how your body absorbs nutrients from food, essentially starving you from the inside out, even if you're eating normally. So if the number on the scale is going down, and you don't know why, it's time to find out. Now for a sign that is impossible to ignore, but often misdiagnosed: blood in the stool. This can appear as bright red streaks on the toilet paper or in the toilet bowl. It can also make your stool look very dark, almost black and tarry. The immediate thought for many is, oh, it's just hemorrhoids. And while that's a common cause of rectal bleeding, you can never, ever assume that. It's a dangerous assumption. A tumor in the colon is fragile and can bleed easily as stool passes by. A black tarry stool often indicates bleeding higher up in the colon, as the blood has had time to be digested. Never write off blood. It is always a reason to see a doctor. This brings us to a related and often hidden sign: iron deficiency anemia. A tumor can cause slow, chronic, hidden bleeding inside the colon. You might not see any blood, but over weeks and months, this gradual loss adds up. Your body loses iron faster than you can replace it, leading to anemia. The symptoms of anemia are fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath, and pale skin. You feel constantly drained, like you can never get enough rest. This is particularly concerning in men or postmenopausal women who shouldn't normally become anemic. If a blood test reveals you have iron deficiency anemia with no obvious cause, your doctor must investigate your gastrointestinal tract. Another subtle but important sign is a feeling of incomplete evacuation. This is known medically as tenesmus. It's that nagging sensation that you still need to go to the bathroom, even if you just went. You might sit on the toilet straining, but nothing happens. This often occurs when a tumor is located in the rectum, the final section of the colon. The tumor takes up space and tricks the nerves into thinking there's still stool left to pass. This symptom is frequently mistaken for irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, leading to dangerous delays in diagnosis. If that "I'm not finished" feeling becomes your new normal, it needs to be checked out. Finally, let's talk about persistent abdominal discomfort. This isn't just the occasional stomachache after a big meal. We're talking about ongoing issues like cramps, gas, and a feeling of being bloated or full that just won't go away. A growing tumor can cause a partial blockage in your intestine, slowing down the movement of food and gas, leading to a painful backup. It can also disrupt the delicate balance of your gut bacteria. If your abdomen constantly feels wrong, painful, gassy, bloated, and it's a new and persistent problem, listen to your gut. It's trying to tell you something. Now we need to face the most dangerous reality of all. In its earliest, most curable stages, colon cancer often has zero symptoms, none. You can feel perfectly healthy, energetic, and normal, all while a precancerous polyp is slowly, silently growing inside your colon. This is why the idea of waiting for symptoms is a deadly gamble. By the time the tumor is large enough to cause noticeable changes, the cancer may have already advanced. This is where screening becomes our most powerful tool. It's not just for finding cancer, it's for preventing it in the first place. So, who needs to be screened, and when? The guidelines have changed because of the alarming rise in younger cases. For average-risk adults, the American Cancer Society now recommends starting regular screening at age 45. Not 50, as it was for years, but 45. If you are 45 or older and have never been screened, this is your call to action. Now, what if you have a higher risk? Your timeline needs to be even earlier. If you have a close relative, a parent, sibling, or child, who had colon cancer or high-risk polyps, you should start screening at age 40, or 10 years before the age your relative was diagnosed, whichever comes first. So if your father was diagnosed at 48, you need to start screening at 38. Other risk factors include a personal history of inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, or certain genetic syndromes. If this applies to you, you need a personalized screening plan from your doctor. What are your screening options? The gold standard is the colonoscopy. I know, no one looks forward to the prep, but its power is undeniable. During a colonoscopy, a doctor uses a thin, flexible tube with a camera to view the entire length of your colon. If they see a precancerous polyp, they can remove it right then and there. They remove the problem before it can ever turn into cancer. It's both a detection and a prevention tool, all in one. If your colonoscopy is clear, you might not need another one for 10 years. There are also less invasive stool-based tests you can do at home. These tests look for hidden blood or abnormal DNA from cancer cells in your stool. They are a good option for some people, but they are not as sensitive as a colonoscopy. They can miss polyps and even some cancers. And if a stool test comes back positive, you will still need a colonoscopy to find out why. These tests also need to be done much more frequently, every 1 to 3 years. The most important message here is that the best test is the one that gets done. Talk to your doctor. Have an honest conversation about your personal and family history. Discuss your options and make a plan. Don't put it off. Procrastination is the ally of this disease. The rise of colon cancer in young people is a wake-up call for all of us. We have to change the conversation and shatter the stigma. It's not an embarrassing topic. It's a matter of life and death. We need to be aware of our bodies, listen to the signals, and be our own best advocates. If something feels wrong, don't dismiss it. Don't be afraid to be that patient who asks questions. Your persistence could save your life. Remember those survival rates: 91% when caught early, 13% when it's late. You have the power to put yourself in that 91% group. It starts with awareness, it continues with conversation, and it's secured with screening. Please share this video with your friends, your family, especially those under 50. You never know whose life you might save. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope this information has been empowering. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more content that matters. Stay healthy, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video.